Hunter Biden emails show the divide between the Biden camp and the Clinton camp. Hunter ripping into Bill Clinton, calling him a really nasty word. We're going to show it. After Bill Clinton on the campaign trail threw Joe under the bus, saying Hillary didn't vote for Biden's crime bill. She wasn't in the Senate then. And then Hunter Biden in emails slamming Hillary and Bill Clinton aides as greedy, petty, and venal. So there's a lot of backbiting and fighting between Democrats.
Oh, it's the gift that keeps on giving. The Hunter Biden laptops that he dropped off in a crack-induced haze and forgot about, and the mainstream media ignored them for so long, and they just keep providing this bounty of information on what was really going on within the Biden inner circle and the big guy. Let me get to Sean Themea joining us right now, Chief of Staff at Young Americans for Liberty. Sean, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you on. You know, we were just talking a minute ago with former Senator Jim Talent. Sometimes you do things in emails or private conversations that you would never want to be public. Unfortunately for Hunter Biden, he had a whole laptop full of those sorts of things. And the latest one has to do with the Clintons, correct?
That's correct. And, you know, a piece of advice I got when I was starting out was never put anything in an email or text you wouldn't want on the front page of the New York Times. And I mean, this laptop, you know, it was in the front page of the New York Times and the Washington Compost and everything, but it was said, oh, this is all just fake news. This is just, you know, Russia, you know, misinformation. And the conspiracy theories and the fake news of today is the truth of tomorrow, as we see. So, I mean, this should be a wake-up call to a lot of people that the corporate press doesn't have our best interests in mind. But the stuff that's being released, it is pretty funny.
Well, it is. Like, for example, he referred to Clinton as an a-hole, claimed that he looked like crap. I'm using the nice version of that word. Said Clinton aides are greedy, petty, greedy, venal, and he was basically challenging, apparently, the fact that Bill Clinton claimed that Hillary never voted for Joe Biden's crime bill when she was trying to distance herself from Joe Biden at some point. This is must-see email, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Now, I love it when the worst people in the world fight. It's great entertainment. It reminds me of the Celebrity Deathmatch show from a couple of decades ago. But in all honesty, I mean, some of these claims, right, just goes to show that the Bidens and the Clintons, I mean, these are prime examples of people with political power, mishandling influence, and the American people can do better.
Well, it's absolutely true. Sean Themea is my guest with the Young Americans for Liberty. This is one of my all-time favorite sound bites from Hunter Biden.
I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone.
I don't even know what to do with that. He admitted that on television, that he used to smoke Parmesan cheese. So here's my question for you. Do you think, Sean, that at some point this actually becomes a political liability for Joe Biden? I mean, in my opinion, it already is, but the White House so far has refused to accept any credit for the damage he's doing to this president's credibility.
I think that it's at its strongest point where it's a liability for him because now you have a real investigation opening up into it, just out of Delaware. You know, they finally are opening up an investigation into this at the state level. And up until then, I think that the Democrats could cover under, oh, again, this is fake news, this is Russian misinformation, this is just, you know, a political hit job. But when you got an investigation involved now, I mean, that's something. Whether it will go anywhere, I don't know, because the deep state is dark and deep. But the fact that it's even being opened shows that they're in trouble, in my opinion.
Yeah. What's your opinion from your organization's point of view, Young Americans for Liberty? Are more young conservatives getting engaged in this conversation? That's what I worry about. It feels like people, you know, the older generations have certainly been carrying the bulk of the fight here. I'm waiting for the younger generation to get involved. That's what you guys are doing, right?
Absolutely. And while things may look dark up there with the Biden administration, I mean, more young people are switching to our side, renouncing this progressivism than ever before. I mean, you see polls showing that Biden's influence over young people and its favorability is tanking. And we see it on campus every day. And a big factor of that has honestly been the COVID mandates and the COVID restrictions. I mean, college students and young people have been faced with some of the most unfair COVID mandates compared to any other age group out of the entire country in this whole debacle. And people don't like being told what to do and being told by these elitists that they know better than them, so they should do X, Y, Z. So the silver lining of COVID and of the Biden administration's follies has been that young people are just starting to question this dogma that they should all be liberals. And in fact, they're realizing that liberty is the answer.
Yeah, very true. Tell us more about Young Americans for Liberty, and maybe people have children or young adults they'd like to see get involved in this.
Absolutely. Well, we're one of the only groups that are out there that's both reaching students on the ground and waking them up to the ideas of liberty. I'm a case study in that. I came into college as an Obama voting progressive, and I left as a hardcore liberty guy. But we're also getting them active in the political process, right? Having folks join campaigns, knock doors during their summer vacation and after college, even training students on how to run for office themselves. And one of our great stories is a Missouri guy, actually, Phil Cristofanelli, state representative. He was a Yale chapter president back in the day, took up the mantle, wanted to make a difference, ran for office, and he's doing great things in the legislature. So I'm very proud of the group.
YALiberty.org, is that the best website?
That is correct.
Outstanding. Listen, Sean, Themea, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, yeah. Good to get it. That's encouraging. You got people willing to stand up. I didn't know that about Phil, but I certainly know him. I think that's what we've got to happen. I tell you, I was encouraged when I went to CPAC. There were a ton of young people down there, engaged and involved and at the speeches and on the social media platforms. That was encouraging. Mm-hmm. So I'm thrilled that that's happening for sure.